go now to Ethiopia. Other markets are emerging as markets of, getting their worst performances, getting the best performances. Ethiopia is setting up. In May, they announced, the first exchange in the country. Beats me. They didn't have an exchange for this long, but they're starting one now. They're launching one very soon, and we're bringing in the market is going to kick off this year. I think it's going to kick off this year, and so we're bringing in the market analyst from that country. Is going to be giving us what to expect from the markets, especially now that Mr. Tilahun Kasahun is the Chief Executive Officer. Ethiopian Securities Exchange, ESX, is going to be talking about what we should expect from the Ethiopian Securities Exchange. It's quite historical for the country, the first exchange, and want to see what they have in store for investors. Good afternoon, Mr. Kasahun. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Ethiopia is setting up its first stock exchange. Why is it coming this late? Because I'm wondering, everyone's wondering, one of the largest economy in that region, and why now?
Thanks, a very good question. In fact, I think we tend to believe that we're one of the largest economies in the world without a proper securities exchange. Although we had a sort of stint in the development of proper capital markets in the early 1960s, same time as Nigeria started one, but unfortunately due to various regime change, we kind of, had a big gap. And since 2019, various, policy reforms, legislative reforms, and institution building activities have been undergoing. And within a span of, 2 years, we set up a new capital markets law. A capital markets authority has been also set up, and our securities exchange is being set up as one of the only stock exchanges in Ethiopia with government and private sector participation. Obviously, I think the why now is very much self-explanatory. The Ethiopian economy has been growing with double-digit figures for the past 20 years. The economy has kind of really run out of its own, steam in terms of financing itself through the usual government-heavy methods, right? So the appetite to raise private sector finance, the appetite to raise foreign investment, both in the form of FDI and also through the securities market is there. And obviously, a very reformist government since 2018. And also, although we do not have a, regulator market, we had what you call a very much, literally an OTC market going on. We had more than, 40 banks and insurance companies that are literally set up as a public company. They traded their securities on an OTC market. We have currently about, 400,000 shareholders that are exchanging their securities in a very much informal manner. So really, the stars were aligned for us to come to market right now and perhaps this year.
That's fantastic to know that trading was already going, as we mentioned, informally, so this is just a formal setup. But what makes the ESX different? Can you highlight some of the opportunities for investors that probably want to come into the market now that the exchange is about to kick off?
Thanks. Yes, so good question, right? So the value additions of securities exchanges is today very much obvious. We create transparency, organization, protect investors, and also efficiency of the market. So, it takes between a day to 30 days for one investor to change its securities in the current OTC market. People have to literally go to share registered departments of these banks to exchange securities. So we will reduce that to a couple of seconds via modern technologies. Today, you should be able to trade any security within a matter of seconds. Of course, beyond technology, it's good to be a latecomer. It's good, it's interesting to mention that we've been in Nigerian Lagos visiting both the Nigerian Stock Exchange, FMDQ, and also the other stakeholders in the market. And alongside most visits that we did throughout Africa and the world, there is a lot of lessons to be taken from the development of capital markets in these exchanges. One of which is to create the right environment to build an exchange that caters for both equities and debt, and as well as other modern securities. And as you know, as a latecomer, ESX will have both an equity market, a debt market, and also an OTC exchange. So in a way, we're kind of merging your three exchanges, the ones that you have in Lagos, and many more lessons to be learned from other African markets.
So definitely the ESX, in translation or in summary, you've kind of leapfrogged, just moving to all the exchanges and incorporating all this in the exchange. This is very fantastic, and we look forward, especially investors will look forward to how they can invest, because you did mention that you're open to foreign investors. So we look to see maybe the cross-border transactions between Nigeria and Ethiopia, investors here buying shares from Ethiopia Stock Exchange and seeing how that works out. We wish you all the very best, and we look forward to when trading begins. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you very much.